Hey friends, it's me, your girl, Dany B, back at you again another week. And I just have to say, music is literally my love language. Anytime I'm feeling down or just need to pick me up, turn on a little Alexa and she keeps me happy. So I hope you guys are having a beautiful start to your week. And as promised, back here again to share a little bit about quality time with all of you. So this weekend, I had the chance to spend a little QT, you are a cutie, by the way, QT quality time with my son, Aiden. He is my baby. He is the last born biological child of mine because we foster as well. But it's just so important for me, for you, to have that quality time, whether it's with yourself, whether it's with your children, whether it's with your spouse, your partner, whatever it may be, carve out that time. Now, I have 3 kiddos, and you'll probably see them throughout my videos, but we have Dylan, who's 13, Mariah, who's 7, and Aiden, who's 5, and we have our little foster kiddo, too. So we have definitely a house full of kids, and quality time is something that at first I'm like, how on earth do I split my time amongst all of these children, right? And leave some time for my husband too. I wanted to really speak to you about children today and just the importance of quality time and what it can do for them. So as I mentioned, we fostered, right? So when we went into this, we said, oh my gosh, let's just start with one child. And if we can impact one child's life, fantastic. And we just happened to get a little foster kiddo who had other siblings in the foster care system. So in my heart of hearts, wouldn't be Danielle if I wasn't like, let's save the world. Let's get all of the kids in our house. We have a tiny house, mind you. Tiny to some. We have 4 bedrooms, but we also have 3 kids and us. So as you imagine, when we took in kids, that meant that our kids now had to share rooms. So we had our first foster kiddo. We took in the sibling. And this is something super personal that I've not shared with most. But it was a struggle, you guys. And they prepare you for this in fostering, but I don't think we were prepared by any means. When you go into this and your kiddos are affected negatively, you start to re-question, that's not even a word, but you know what I mean. You start to question whether or not this is the right decision. And I'll be honest, there were days where I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, let's just throw in the towel. But then there were days when we saw just the impact that we were able to make in a child's life. So we unfortunately had to make a really tough decision. And I'll spare you all of the details, but I'll say it came down to one of our kiddos getting bullied and being super withdrawn from our family even. And we noticed that it was taking a mental effect on him. And being the mama bear that I am, we had to step in and intervene. And we had to say, is this good for the well-being of our children, and is it good long-term, for the well-being of the foster kiddo too, because I'm sure as much angst as was being felt with the bullying and the discipline and all of that, it just wasn't a happy situation. And let me tell you, I've never seen my husband more stressed in his life. And those of you that know me, know us, know that we're pretty even keel people, and it was just this energy in our house that was so negative and so it was tearing our family apart. And so we had to make a decision with one of the siblings to say we had to rehome that sibling. And I cried my eyes out over that decision. And I actually get emotional just thinking about it. Because when we went into this, we went into it thinking, we're going to help these children. We're going to impact lives. And never in my mind, did I ever think that rehoming one of our kiddos was an option. And so when we had to do that, it broke my heart, literally. But it didn't come without a lot of prayer, a lot of just digging deep to understand what is the right decision for us. And so I told you I was going to share something personal. Didn't think I would cry, but we did. And we still have our youngest foster kiddo with us. And fortunately, we still have sibling meetups and they're able to see each other and do the things. But it also made me realize during that time when we were going through the most difficult time in our family's lives, all while I was working, mind you. So I'm working, my husband's managing the home, which I want to get to that too, because that is also our environment, our community, our society teaches us that women are the only ones that can stay at home. Women are the only ones that can provide for the children, and the man must go out and must work and provide for home. We flipped that on its head in our household, and I am, and my husband will not mind me saying this, I am the breadwinner of the family. I am the one that brings in the income, because it's our income at the end of the day. It's not my income, it's for our family. So take what you will by that. If you've ever thought, my gosh, it would be so great for one of us to stay home, because it's possible. And even if it is the man, it's so beneficial to your children. We could have never went through what we did had one of us not been the person that was really there for our children. I just imagine what that would have been like if we both would have been working. It would have been, honestly, probably would have ripped our family apart. But I say all of this to say, when we went through this, quality time felt like it was impossible. It felt like all we were doing was putting out fires and, managing this child's emotion, managing that child's emotion, managing these children's emotions together. And it didn't feel like it was something that I could actually take a step back and do. So I had to get really diligent on it. And now moving forward, I tell myself, one, schedule it. Schedule it. Whether or not it's a couple of hours, a day, what have you. It doesn't have to be a long time. Sometimes, quite honestly, my kids will say, Mom, can you just sit next to me? And I'll wake up in the morning and I'll just need to hug my kiddos. I'll just need to embrace them and just let them feel loved and let them feel seen and let them feel heard. That is the biggest thing for me for quality time, is to ensure that we have this bond going forward, and I know my children inside and out. And at the end of the day, when they become these adults, it doesn't feel like I'm looking at this stranger. It feels like I've helped them grow. Obviously, they got to step out and do their own thing, but I've had an impact in that, and that for me is so important. So I say to you, my friends, long story short, schedule that quality time. It is so important. And do what resonates to you. Do what resonates to your children. Ask them sometimes, what do you want to do? If it's reading a book, read a book. If it's going to the park, go to the park. Quality time does not have to cost money. And so I empower you, I challenge you to figure out ways that you are going to schedule that quality time this week. And I look forward to spending next week with you, my friends. Have a beautiful, beautiful week.